Okay, this is improving your mental health with your host, Joseph Vivaldi. I don't know if this name is taken, but it's a good name for a show. Improving your mental health. In this episode today, I'm going to discuss a little bit about bipolar, how to combat, what's a battle plan. Bipolar is comes in waves. You're either extremely depressed until the state of being rageful and angry, and then you calm. So, how do you deal with mental health with bipolar? Now, how do you live with it? How do you live with someone with bipolar? Yes, these are the questions that I'm going to help tackle today. First, what is bipolar? Episodes of mania. Mania is where you're manic, talkative, you're feeling good, you're on top of the world, and then you crash. You either get angry that somebody is trying to take you off that pedestal, then you get vicious, and it's a spiral. So how do you manage to keep not going manic, or keep coping from your mania? That is the $100 million question, I would say, so to speak. Bipolar, basically, if you're living with someone with bipolar, you're gonna want to be very attentive. You know, they could be going through a depression and not get out of it, and they could be going through a mania, and then you're gonna want to say, hey, you're doing this wrong, you should do whatever. Best thing to do is not to judge. You don't want to judge somebody that's manic. That's the worst thing. The best thing to do is not criticize, but be supportive. That's all you can do. You're not going to know when they're up, you're not going to know when they're down. They can change their tune many, many different times, as I know. And it's you gotta roll with the waves, because they might not have that right medication adjustment to keep them in the level. And if something's upsetting them, they're gonna be blunt and they're gonna be vicious, as I know from experience in situations. From having to go through that myself. But usually it's like the wounded dog situation. It's if you're wounded, you're going to let everybody know you're wounded. And you have no control over it. It just happens, and when you do it, you feel good. It's like you got to roll with the punches. That's the best, thing that I could come up with. If you're someone that's going through it, you gotta have good coping skills to deal with a bipolarness, because you could build something and destroy it in a matter of minutes, and then you're coming back and you're feeling remorseful, you're feeling sorry, and whatever. Say, put the sorrow out of the window. You can't change events that have happened. You can't change your impulses. You can't change whatever. Best thing to do is work on it day to day. And if you're manic and you know you're manic, best thing to do is give your partner your card, or give a family member you trust your card. Say, hey, I can't do this. This is what's happening. Because you might have a notion in your head and you'll go and do it. And yes, it will cause problems, but you give them, say, hey, here's the X amount of money to spend. Because you know what? That's a good way to limit yourself. It helps you from going overboard. Me, I have had a problem where I've gone manic and spent a lot of money. But we're not talking about me now. That's what could happen. The best solution is put trust in someone. And sometimes bipolar, you don't trust because you like that high. Maybe you're not getting that high that you need and you want to achieve that high. Buying stuff is a high. Getting a TV, getting a laptop, getting whatever, it's like, you're like, I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to get this. And all of a sudden you see the bill, whoom, you crash. Best way to go manic is plan for it. Plan for your mania and have a special mania fund that can be spent whenever you're manic. I say this for a reason. You don't want to spend on credit cards. Those are dangerous. And you'll never get out of the debt that you're on, and only in a while. And there are support groups that help deal with the debt, but we're talking about bipolar. And debt is one thing. So set yourself a mania thing, so that way when you come crashing down, you still have some money left. And you'll be like, okay, I don't feel as bad as I would have. Because you know what? When you are off that high, then you gotta come back and deal and support and come back. Because then you're going through the depression. Sometimes it takes a while to go out of that depression, and you need to talk to yourself, because when you're in that state, you don't feel like doing much, and you're going to have people telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, but your body is saying, hey, I can't do it, I'm just spent. And you need to rest. And you need to give your body a chance to rest at times. So that's one thing. That's one thing. Rest. Give yourself a chance to do whatever. And when you're coming up with stuff, come up with plans. Because it's better to manically be creative rather than doing all the spending. So what I say, bipolar, it's not easy to deal with the disorder. But, somehow, some way, it's coping with it, managing it, and, coming up with a plan. It's like plans. This is what is going on. This is how I'm going to deal with it. And you work for completing it. It's like gathering up points. And it's coming up with balance. That's a big a thing, a balance. So it's a podcast for the day. It is improving your mental health with your host, Joseph Ivaldi. It's a short episode today. I'm sure I'm going to discuss many other episodes as time goes on. Have a good night.